Welcome to the Pickleball Legends Podcast, hosted by me, Evan Small. This is the place where passion for the game meets the stories of the players, coaches, and fans who make pickleball more than just a sport. They make it a story worth telling. Welcome back to the Pickleball Legends Podcast. Today's guest is a man who seems to cover just about every corner of the pickleball world. Player, coach, tournament director, academy leader, entrepreneur, and international clinic host. Joining us from Florida is Gregory Storm, founder and CEO of R.A.W. Pickleball, Reign and Win. Gregory has built his reputation not only through playing the game, but through coaching and developing players, running tournaments, and taking his knowledge on the road, including his recent coaching clinic tour here in the UK and Ireland. He's got plenty of opinions on how pickleball is being played, coached, and developed on both sides of the Atlantic. So without further ado, let's hear what Gregory has to say. Hey, Gregory. Welcome back to the Pickleball Legends Podcast. You are the first, technically returning guest, because we had you on for a little special mini episode, didn't we?
We did.
And, this time it's to find out more about you. And first of all, as usual, how did you first get into pickleball?
Yeah, so I guess it started, I'm going to show my age a little bit, like 13 years ago, right? So I'm kind of a little bit of an OG, I guess. But it all started in Naples, Florida with me and kind of learning and just feeling a vibe out. I kind of started it with my mom saying, come to New York and hang out. And then they got me into pickleball for like at a YMCA, kind of like, the courts, or you call them halls over where you are, right? Now you're grown, so that's good, So it was a hall. And then once I came back to Naples, then, then I found it. So yeah, I started playing with Kyle Yates and his family. And, Kyle Yates is a big name. He's 30 this year, I think. But so we all started playing, and I think he was probably, I don't know how old he was when he first started, but yeah. Hall of Fame at 30 is kind of cool, right? But so had a good group of players, and we watched that U.S. Open spot was just a skate park, actually, and a hockey spot. So we were all part of watching that grow into what it is today, the U.S. Open in Naples. So that's kind of how it all got going with me as far as, and, it was really nice. It was a good time. And I think tournaments were like $35 for like all three events. And you just had a great weekend. You got a goodie bag, a bunch of swag, and it was really cool. Now it's like, kind of a big price grab now these days, right? So.
Yeah, that's a crazy amount of time. That's more than a decade longer than I've been playing. So how have you seen the sport develop and grow over the years from all the way back then?
Yeah, I talk about it a lot, sometimes when people ask, right? So, I mean, I've just, again, seen it go from a fun kind of thing to like big clicks now, so it's like, if you're not with the cool kids anymore, then, you're not accepted. So, when you go to like open plays and stuff like that, they don't know who you are, and then they kind of shun you a little bit, and then you're like, give me a chance, and then you play and they're like, oh, you can play with us. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like that a little bit, but, and Big Pickle is just really, what I've seen from there is crazy. The growth in it and the MLP and, just, the growth. I think what I like most that I've seen is now the growth in like England and, Asia. And I like it seeing going worldwide now a little bit more. I think that's the key to the bigger growth and, and the fun events and things like that. That's why I keep coming back to you guys, because, you're finally starting to grow there, and, everyone's liking the classes that we have over there and that we offer you guys. So it's been really cool like that.
Yeah, well, the development, 13 years ago, it wouldn't have been in the UK anywhere, right? Maybe 10 years ago, maybe a couple of people, but certainly now the English Open is this weekend, right? As we're recording this, a massive event. Have you ever been over to that before?
We were planning the first year to come over with our brand, the R.A.W. brand, paddles and stuff like that. But financially, we just couldn't kind of work it out. We're a smaller brand, but I think it was in Telford then, or where was it? Do you remember?
Last year was Telford. This year is at the NEC.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's okay because, I mean, I think I really just need to find a little bit of a niche and come over and teach some camps and things like that. And now that we've kind of been around the country and, Scotland and Ireland, now I've actually found some nice indoor places. So it's kind of nice. I don't have to teach as much, in the halls, the slippery floors and things like that. So
Yeah. Well, you've mentioned the Raw brand. So where did that first come from? First of all, what is it?
yeah, so it's rain and wind pickleball. Again, we're on the circuit right now. We just got these approved. It's pretty cool. I feel like Gordon Gebert holding my, but me and Gordon are great friends. But this is our new foam stuff right now, really taking off. So, I guess we launched the brand in 22. I've been sponsored by a lot of companies like Selkirk and Gearbox for a couple years, and Vulcan. So some big companies, but I think I just got tired of asking for product after a while, and they don't really. If you're not like a top pro, like I play senior pro now, but if you're not top, now, then they won't even look at you anymore. So you're lucky if you get a couple paddles and a bag and, a hat or something from teams now. But, so I just kind of figured, hey, why can't I start a company? I actually started to build another company, called Groovin, but it kind of didn't work out between us, unfortunately. But so I just started doing my own thing and found some manufacturing that I worked really hard to kind of go after. It's funny when people ask me like, "Well, how do you get your manufacturing?" I'm like, "Well, I'm not gonna like tell you, like, you know what I mean?" But so I'll just be like, I have three manufacturers, right? So, but yeah, now I can just go and grab a freshie whenever I want. It's kind of nice.
Yeah.
So.
So obviously, something that I've always been curious about is you've gone for the bee design and the honeycomb. Where's that all come from?
Yeah, so I mean, for us again, we kind of we're a B brand, so we wherever we go, we like to. I kind of want to do like a give back mission because I think pickleball lost a little of that, with some of these bigger companies.
Mm.
So we like to go and help give back to like local bee farmers wherever we go, or sell paddles, or wherever we have our ambassadors and things like that. So again, I was just over in Somerset over there teaching with you guys. So we went and found a local bee company and we bought some of their stuff. I mean, it could be as small as that, but at least we're supporting community and giving back somehow, right? So I think that's important because if we don't have these bees, then we don't have food. And a lot of people don't understand that or realize that. So, I've kind of given this spiel before, but I think it's important that we do have, these pollinators and things like that. And if it's going through pickleball and having, a dollar or $2 off of every paddle sale to, a local bee farmer in any area that we're at, then we'll do it. I like it.
Yeah, well, it's great. That's what pickleball is all about, right? It's about the community. It's about giving back to the community.
I like it. Yeah. Same thing in Torquay. We really collabed over in Torquay as well. And we supported that community as well. They're growing. They're doing really well over there. It's nice to see everything coming to fruition over there finally. So yeah, we collabed with a couple bee farmers there. So it was cool.
That's great. And you obviously mentioned coming over to Torquay and the southwest area. What was that for? That
Where
you
were
came.
you, Evan? Yeah. So again, we ran probably 6 or 7 master classes coming over. My second time in Torquay with Jason over there. Jason's the pickleball director, I think, over there now, right? And and it's been really good. They've got Padel in there too, so I was really excited to see how the growth happened over there. So we had a class of probably about 35 folks, and the paddles sold up real well. We did some stations. Everyone leveled up. It was really cool, and it's a great spot. Yeah, it's a great spot there.
Yeah. And how did you get into the coaching side of things then? Obviously, you started off playing. Did Raw come before the coaching, or did you start coaching before?
I think, yeah, I mean, kind of like coinsecutively a little bit, because for me, it's like, I'm tired of seeing Amazon paddles come out, every time we get somebody that, that we teach or something like that. And it's just like, okay, like, well, hit this, while you're serving versus, the Amazon paddle. And they're like, whoa, so it was just kind of like turned to an accessory after a while too, or an add-on, so, but why not, move the brand like that? We don't have the big marketing funds like Selkirk or Bread and Butter or any of those. Like, now Bread and Butter is blowing their paddles out for 130 that Selkirk's now bought them out, right? Because who knows what's going to happen next.
Yeah.
So we just don't have that marketing or that budget. So I think it's a good way to kind of move our brand as well, just like that. Same thing with the clubs, wherever the clubs are.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of the raw paddles at competitions that I've gone to around, so that's obviously a good start.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how do you see the brand growing then in the next 5-ish years?
So we had a little bit of a setback with USAPA. They're getting really money grabby, and then just everything's so focused on, how they want to do things and change, their 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 way of testing things all the time. I mean, it's a different way of testing for them, like every 2 or 3 months. It's crazy,
Mm.
So for us, we finally got these new this foam line that we're really excited about. Finally approved. So now, everyone can
Congratulations.
kind of, what's that?
Congratulations on that.
Well, yeah, a lot of money, but congratulations on spending money. But you know what? It's okay. It's fine. Because we got a good product. So that's what I'm excited about because this new tech is really nice. We got EPP and EPA and that and the floating core. So it's really strong, but it'll take you 2 weeks to get used to. Put it that way, coming off some of the other stuff. But I would compare it with a boomstick, to be honest with you, because I get a lot of boomstick people, and I'll be like, I'll
Mm.
hand them this paddle now, and they're super excited about this. It's the same shape, but it's something about the paddle that we're not going to give our tech away, but it's good stuff. We're excited.
Yeah, I mean, I've been playing with the foam paddles recently, and I think it's such a
Yeah,
huge difference when I think back. I went down to our local club the other day, and I've just picked up one of the paddles that we hand out to people out of the box, and I was like, this is so different. The fiberglass paddle all the way to this foam paddle. How much it's changed, even in the 3 years I've been playing.
yeah,
It's just phenomenal, right?
yeah. I'll go back to some of our honeycomb stuff with some titanium grid on it, but I'm like, I don't hear that sound anymore, right? So if I don't hear the sound, then I'm like, this is weird. And before it was when this first came out, it was like, okay, like this sounds weird coming off of this. So now if I don't hear this sound anymore, then it's odd, So
Yeah, that's really interesting. You mentioned about the sound because somebody said to me the other day when I hit the ball, they were like, what paddle's that?" Because that made such a weird noise, right? Because
yeah.
if they're not used to it, if they've not heard it, then it is very very different.
Yeah, it's gotta be illegal, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's what most people assume.
Yeah.
Yeah. So around pickleball with you, then not just for the brand, where's your where do you see it heading for yourself? Do you see you doing more coaching, just building this brand? Or?
Yeah, I like doing the international coaching. You guys are really good to me when I come over. You host me well, so I really I liked Pickle Pad over in Christchurch. Those girls are so good. They're so friendly, so good. If you guys want anything local, they have all our paddles right now. So shout out to Pickle Pad in Christchurch, Bournemouth, right?
Yeah.
So I just think that club treated me well. Sheffield, those girls are great in Sheffield. There's only one indoor club there. So I'm just giving shout outs to some of the spots that I stopped, because they're indoor facilities now, and I want to
Yeah.
see those grow. I know Pickle Pad had another club open around the corner from them that they're not excited about, but it's just kind of a big money guy that came in and built right around the corner from him, which is crazy to me. But their padel courts at Pickle Pad are better than the ones at the big box company. Not going to mention the club, um, but yeah, I just think the future for me again is probably continue to push out internationally. Is what I mean. Florida, we're killing it right now too, right? We're all around the states. Hawaii, pretty good too. So I just want to keep moving the brand, um, and grow it slowly. I'm fine with growing slowly. I know that we've been talking a little bit to Lee Whitwell. She's real number one player, senior women's player, and she's
Well,
out actually.
she's just won 2 days in a row. She won the women's and then the mixed doubles at the
Of
English
course,
Open.
of course she did. Yeah, she's great. She's great. I'm pretty friendly with her, so we've been trying to get her over the brand for a little while now. I know she just went with another company called Ram Sports, but I don't really know those guys. But if if we can get her, that would be really cool. I'd like that.
Yeah, so interestingly, you've been mentioning about the money grabs in pickleball and how it's developed from being a fun sport into how you see it now over in America. But I think in the UK, we're kind of hitting that stage at the moment where people are seeing the money in it and they're trying to go for it. Is there anything that you've seen from what America's done, right or wrong, that we could do a little bit better?
Well, so that's a good segue to what I've been involved with is because I'm involved with um no longer Duper. I'm done with Duper. I started with Duper. Their support system's terrible. Everything's been terrible with Duper. They can't get their algorithm straight. I don't think it's a fair rating for anybody because, if I play you in singles and you're a 5-0 at 17 and I'm a 5-0 at 54, you're going to chase every ball down, right? So I mean, it's weird, right? So now I'm involved with Vare, which Lee Whitwell is also on board with. I just heard last week that she's now involved. So Vare is pretty cool. It's what I try to bring over with each camp now because now I can Vare rate everybody that I come over and teach. So it's a fair rating. And then we started PMA, which is another paddle, kind of a paddle. It's a pickleball paddle testing union, if that makes sense, right? So if we don't have, USAPA on our paddles anymore, now it's going to be PMA because we're really involved with them, and that's the Pickleball Manufacturers Association. So it just gives us more creativity to build what we want. It's the same testing procedure that USAPA pretty much uses, but it just allows, it's not a money grab anymore. We're not charging for any of that right now. So those two organizations I'm pretty heavily involved with, and I'm really liking that. And I hope that we can get that over your way because I've been talking to some of the European fellow over there, but we just haven't collaborated a little bit more. But you know, I think if we move some of that there and PMA standards over there, I think you won't get caught in the duper environment because sometimes people will not be allowed to play in league or certain events if their duper is not a certain level. And I don't think that's fair for people. I had a lady come to me the other day. She's like, "Can you help me raise my duper?" She's like, "I'm a 3-3. These ladies won't let me play with me unless I'm a 3-5." I'm like, she's what, two little brackets down. So
Yeah.
we gave her a VAR rating. She can have both. That's fine, a duper and a VAR rating. I could put her because I know what very well she's a VAR rating 3-6, right? So then she would be allowed to play with those ladies. But I just think those ladies are using duper to exclude her from the group. Does
Yeah.
that make sense? So I don't
Yeah.
want to see that happening in over your way.
Yeah, well, there are lots of issues around the duper system. Like, it's nice to try and have a rating system, but
Yeah.
it's got to be the right rating system, as you say.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. I mean, and you could make multiple accounts in Duper. I've seen it where, I'll look somebody up and I'm like, why do they have 3 accounts? Like, and guess which one they're using? The one that's rated the highest, right?
Yeah, because I don't understand it. Because if surely people go, I want to raise my duper, and surely it's not that. It should be I want to get better, and vicariously my duper will go up to match the level that I'm at. But
Yeah. Right. Right.
it's
Yeah.
strange. Anyway, so tell us more about that and how that system works then.
Yeah. So there is, it's called visually, it's kind of a rating, an international rating system, but, what it's about really is kind of, so for instance, a quick little stint, you'll have 4 or 5 different, um, tiers. So you can have your age, you'll have your gender. So each one would would count as a rating. So you'd have a gender rating, you would have a age rating, you would have a mixed rating. So you wouldn't have everything combined into one like I think Duper does, right? I think. I don't know. I don't remember. But for instance, so if I'm a 5-0, you're a 5-0, we play a 4-5 and a 3-5 on the other side. We're going to go after the 3-5, or no doubt, right?
Mm.
We're going to crush them. We'll win. In the VAR entry system, that would not count. They would have to be at least a half level. So if it'd be like me, 5-0, you 5-0, and 2-4-5s across, that would
Right.
in the VAR system. That's fair. To me, that's fair.
Yeah.
Same thing with age, right? If I'm playing, you're 20, I'm 40. We're playing two 15-year-olds across the way. We're all the same level. It wouldn't count because those little guys might be faster and quicker, right? So that's the kind of the gist of it, or the idea. I like it because I think to me that makes more sense in fairness.
Well, it's a bit like how our tennis rating system worked or used to work in the UK, where you could only change your rating if you were playing games against people who were similarly rated,
Yeah.
and other games just wouldn't count because you're right, you can just jump up high just because you played against
Yeah.
somebody who's not as good.
Yeah. The only thing I'm still waiting on Bear to do is have an app, because people are friendly with apps. They can do it quick. They can enter the scores quick. They just haven't got there yet. So we're still waiting on that. It's still, a web design. You have to go into your website and do it from there. But other than that, I mean, I think it's going to take time, just like anything, because Duper's got a hold of everything now. That's the problem. So, people can complain and cry about it, but until there's change, it's just tough. It's tough.
Yeah, it's always difficult to change things, right?
Once it gets a hold, yeah, once it gets a hold.
Yeah. And with the rating technologies, I saw one the other day about video ratings. So you upload a video of you playing or doing something. Where do
AI.
you think that's going to come in?
So Bear already has that. We can do that. But again, it comes to a pay thing. So it's like, okay, they got to pay for it. So it's like, how people are in pickleball. We're cheap. We don't want to pay for anything, right? So,
Yeah.
but yeah, so it's an AI version. I don't know. I mean, I like the visual assessment. I like to see if there's consistency. If I just shoot a small video to AI, then yeah, who knows what's going to happen? I mean, AI is a little strange. I use it for graphics. That's about it.
And when you said that you set people up with the VAR accounts when you do your coaching courses. So how do you, as that
So
VAR
I'll just
representative,
send them a
what are
link
you
to
doing?
sign up. It's free. Yeah, it's free. And then I'm a Vera rater, so I don't necessarily do the AI for them because I'm there, right? So I just visually assess. I can give them their rating right there, which is what they want. I think that's a fair way to do things, versus Duper, where you got to enter scores for games, and then they might have a shite partner. You know what I mean? So then what? And then your Duper goes down because you had a crappy partner. So
Yeah. And people have good days and bad days, right?
yeah,
That's another big
right.
factor.
I know I'm not doing well in singles if I don't have a backhand down the line.
Yeah.
You know.
It's tough. It's as you say, it's growing, right? Because in the UK, we're nowhere near as developed as you are in the States.
Yeah.
But it's just trying to push it in the right directions with things.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this, what was the other thing? The PMA, the paddle
Yeah,
one?
PMA is it's a union. It's open. I know there's a couple UK paddle manufacturers that have some. I think it's called Pickleball Garage. Do you know them?
I've heard of them.
Yeah, so they're English, right?
Yeah.
So they're straight up PMA. So same thing with Joe over at Third Shot. I think it's Third
Yeah.
Shot. I like Joe a lot. I think he wanted to develop a paddle, but he just financially couldn't afford what USAPA is doing. So again, this is where the PMA comes in. They can join us, and we'll hook them up and kind of get them going, and then we'll check out what they have, and then approve it for, again, it's free for now, but it's not $5,000 per paddle submission, which is the USAPA, which is absolutely
That's
crazy.
crazy.
Because
Yeah.
when I started, it was only like 350.
Mm.
And then I just got an email last week. Now they're going to do another $500 in October just for a new friction test. So now you're at 5,500 per paddle. Yeah, it's gotten a little out of hand. So that's why I think we started this union to allow people to have creativity, and we want creation. We want people to make, things that are fun, and and to be artsy,
Yeah. I mean, I was in a competition the other day. He was playing with the boomstick, and then he was managed to get to a final playing with it. And they looked at the paddle, and it was only UPA approved
Oh yeah,
because they made one that was USAP and one that was UPA. And it's like having all these different rating
I
things.
know.
He
And
ended up having his paddle taken off him. Right? It's
super
crazy.
confused. It's causing
Yeah.
confusion. It's causing confusion. It's not a good time for people because then they get brainwashed and hornswoggled because they don't know what's what to do anymore. It's the same thing with UPA coming up with their new rule book now, right? So now they
Yeah.
have new rules for the UPA. If you want to play a PPA event, there's a new rule book. So it's just like, you know, what's what, apples to apples and bananas to bananas or whatever it is. But it confuses people, and then they think every paddle might be illegal or they can't play with it. And guess what? We're only playing rec play or something, and they still think the same thing. It's
Yeah. Well, that's a big part, right? Is what, like 90% of pickleball is rec play. So who actually, I've always been of the opinion that you're not going to give a 70-year-old a boomstick because they're going to end up hurting someone, right?
yeah,
So I think that's probably what we need to lean more into, is looking at the rec play side of things, not just developing paddles for the pros.
100%. Yeah. And, if, and we get that all the time too, well, what kind of pros do you have playing with your paddle? Otherwise I can't play with it. You know what I mean? So
Is
yeah, it's going to be a jumper. The pros are jumpers, they're going to jump to the next $10,000 that's offered from another company.
Yeah. I mean, I've always said that your local club members are going to play with the paddle that their coach plays with more likely than they're going to play
Oh,
with the paddle that the best player in the country plays with.
that's right. That's right.
Yeah. But it's just trying to get everybody to understand the same thing and figure it all out. But it takes time, right?
Welcome to my world. But everyone's been happy with this new model, so I'm excited about it. You're going to see a bunch of raw paddles floating around there for sure. Again,
Yeah.
we just made podium with our adaptee players the other day, and I'm you know what? Those are the people that I like having on the team because I mean, if they've got no legs and they're out there grinding, putting in work to put on some fake legs and then win at the English Open with our paddles, I love that. I love
Mm.
love 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 that. Those are our
Yeah.
those are our pros.
Yeah. It was great. I mean, you sent me over the photo, and it was, it's incredible to see just that everybody can play pickleball, right? Everybody can play and compete.
And that's what makes pickleball what it used to be for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When we can have and support mental health, that's big for us. Every time I throw in a tournament, I get back to mental health, which I think is really important. Lost some people to mental health, so I think again, giving back that way, even if it's just a tournament, it doesn't even have to be the paddles, right? So yeah, I like it.
Yeah. So with these new paddles, what is it that's great about them? Obviously, aside from all of the things that we've mentioned already about around the bees and the
Yeah.
supporting the community, but
Yeah, I think we we have so the other thing is like reviewers. Everyone buys off of reviewers, right? So that's what's tough because these reviewers say they don't get paid, but they've got a pickleball court built out in the backyard at 25 or 30. You can't tell me they're not making some money off these reviews, John Q and all these other guys. Give me a break, Chris Olson, um, you know. So I'm not going to even give these guys paddles to put me down or whatever it might be. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So we have other reviewers that are genuine and true to like what they play with and things like that. So that's what we like to go after is kind of like, again, a homegrowny kind of a good vibe paddle reviewer, Sleeves Pickleball, Senior Pickleball Report. We love him. We're doing a paddle collab with him right now. And I think that's going to be pretty exciting. So he knows a bunch of the other reviewers. So maybe we'll get the PMA version in their hands, and then we'll get some of the PMA stuff in their hands just to see if they'll tune into some creativity. I mean, if they don't want to talk about it, that's fine. And that just tells us that they are getting paid by bigger brands to review their stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you've seen the podcast before. So you'll know that we do the Pickle Pals segment around now. So that's what we're going to move on to. So 60 seconds of quick fire questions for you.
Uh-oh.
Are you ready?
Rock band? I just did see it, the Flock of Seagulls last night. I met the lead singer. So that was...
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you ready?
Let's go.
Your time starts now. Dink or drive?
Dink.
Singles or doubles?
Singles.
Forehand or backhand?
Backhand.
Power or placement?
Placement.
What's your favorite shot to hit?
ATP. No, I lied.
If you could improve one shot, what would it be?
Oh gosh, my lob.
Who's your favorite partner that you've ever played with?
Probably, I would say Lee Whitwell.
Indoor or outdoor pickleball?
Indoor lately. It's hot in Florida.
What's one thing beginners always get wrong?
The dink.
What matters most in a paddle, power, control, or feel?
Combo, but I do like my new power.
What's your biggest pickleball pet peeve?
Money grabs.
That is your time up. These are some very good answers. We got through quite a few questions there.
Yeah, that was good.
It was nice and speedy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Is there anything else that you'd like to mention?
No, I appreciate you, Evan, finally getting back and doing some stuff with me. I appreciate that. It's a good time right now because, we just, like I said, we made podium with, Mark Fossey out there. And, he's actually been with, I think, Prince Harry too, playing with our paddles. So, I mean, that means a lot for us over in the UK right now because I think we're just really liking to move the brand over there with you guys. So I just encourage everybody to at least try our paddles and to, get on board with Evan and his podcast because he's doing a great job out there.
Thank you. I do think there's a massive growth area for you in the UK because it is so grassroots still, and obviously it's a grassrootsy brand, so it's kind of perfect.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much for being on the podcast, and we'll see you in another episode.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
Thanks for watching this episode of Pickleball Legends. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. Whether you're watching on YouTube or listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or anywhere else you get your fix. We've got new episodes coming out every 2 weeks, so make sure you're following so you don't miss the next one. Thanks for tuning in, and as always, keep dinking, keep smiling, and stay legendary.